Hi everybody, it's Tracy Ann here with Rebecca Klein of ALANA COUTURE and
Everlasting Wedding Bouquets.
Yes, Everlasting Wedding Bouquets drew me in here to this studio. I saw her card and I was like, I have to visit this studio. So I'm here today for her to talk a little bit about what couture means and show us her couture wedding bouquets. So let's get started.
Yeah.
What does couture mean, and can you talk about
So,
some of the techniques?
of course, so couture basically starts from beginning to finished product, and it's all about the methods of how you get there. So for a couture piece to start, you never start with flat pattern design.
Never.
So that's considered mass production. So the way you start, undress her, is you have your dress form. You put your style lines, you pad it up to imitate. So basically, let's pretend I'm making you a custom piece. Couture is all about custom.
Yes.
So I would take your measurements and I would then create a padded bodysuit, either with padding here or an external piece, hoping you'll be a return client. And in this padded bodysuit, the inside fits the dress form. The outside is her exact body and measurements.
What? So that's how this dress form becomes all of your clients, basically.
Exactly, exactly. A true couture drape, after you drape it, you sew it. You don't pin it together, you actually sew it. And when I was first in school, I was like, what like a waste of time and energy, because like you're not ever going to use this.
Right.
But that's how you know it's perfect. That's how you know all your seams and all your edges line up.
Where did you go to school?
FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology.
Yes.
I also, after I got my degree, I also did some advanced study and got my haute couture certificate. Was taught by like an amazing 92-year-old Italian couturier who pretty much instilled all the passion that I have.
Yes.
Like just watching him and his wife, who always came with him, work was like so inspiring. So after you have your half drape, you then go to the pattern table. You make the other side, you sew the entire garment, 360,
Yes.
so you get like a real idea of the fit. Again, with couture, you're using the finest, most expensive materials. So you don't want to go into your actual production piece, not even production, because couture wouldn't be production, your actual finalized piece in the fabric you make, unless that fabric is so special that it's unlike anything else. When you do the first drape, the first half drape, you can put that into a pattern, of course, then to flip it over, or you can flip it over right to muslin.
Okay.
I often put it into a pattern just because, in my opinion, from my experience, once you sew, iron press, seam rip, that's going to alter the seam a bit. So I want that original perfect thing. Couture also basically involves construction techniques. This is a suit which I left open for the purpose of reference. So we'll show you the jacket first. So you can see this is Hymo, lined with Hymo to give it that real crisp shape and structure. So every seam is cash stitched down. The purpose, every couture technique, construction technique, has a very clear-cut purpose. Nothing is done for no reason other than some stylized things, but every inner construction technique has a reason. The reason for sewing down the seams is so it lays flat against the body. Because if these seams, Hymo is a thick fabric, so if these seams were not hand-stitched down, they would stick out, and then you wouldn't get that crisp sculpt.
Like a silhouette.
Exactly. If you see a fine couture suit, it's almost like shaped.
Like it's just made for you, that tailor-made look.
Exactly.
You can tell when something is tailor-made.
Exactly.
It's because of this, like, this material?
It's the Hymo and the construction techniques, the sewing techniques inside of it, which one of them is catch stitching down. In a couture garment, you actually hand sew, you hand tack.
The lining to the outer?
To the outer piece. So this and this don't move together. They're separate.
Oh,
the reason for that is like, let's say you put on your jacket and it gets caught a little here, and it's not sewn like this, it's going to pull it in the back and it won't lay flat.
Your jacket won't lay flat on you.
Exactly. And there's also a whole slew of techniques on how to end a dart so you don't have like that nipple look.
Yes, yes, that bulge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like couture is always avoiding these bulges.
The bulges to make everything, yeah.
That's how mass-produced clothes look.
Exactly.
When you want something that's well-fitting and completely tailored to yourself, you look for a couturier.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
The skirt has also a whole slew of couture techniques. Wow. And as you see on OCD, I always put fabric under my clips so they don't mark it. Okay. Because there's so much work that goes into it.
Right.
So, okay, a couture.
This is the front?
This is the front. Mm-hmm. The style, let's not go there. This is for, you know, it's a little vintage. So, if you can feel, there's like a stay in there, which keeps that crisp edge.
There's something inside of it?
Yeah, to keep the edge crisp. So you don't, over time, get like a pocket that sags, like a frown. So let's talk about the inside. One of the things with couture is the inside of your garment should be just as beautiful as the outside. So if you go inside here.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
All my seams have what's called a Hong Kong binding. So it's an edge that finishes the seam, and it's a way of doing it that's as flat as possible to avoid any bulging. Exactly. Even the hem, of course, has the Hong Kong binding and is cash stitched by hand, which is still done in today's suits, the cash stitches. No raw edges. Raw edges are the enemy of couture.
The
anti-couture.
Anti-couture, okay.
In true couture, your zipper and everything is put in by hand. The reason for all these hand tacking is so it doesn't roll up or roll down. You also want to use the highest end fabrics, which in this case is mother of pearl buttons. These are what's called a corded buttonhole. So it's not like a regular buttonhole where you see all the little thread tacks on both sides. Part of my couture experience and love led me to lingerie. The reason for that is I felt like if you can't do the base, like lingerie, for any woman that knows, a good bra is going to make or break your outfit.
It's priceless.
So I felt like if you can understand and shape the base of the outfit, then you can go anywhere from there. So that's how I started in lingerie and developed like this huge love and passion for it. Construction and fabrication are the two markers of couture. This is, unfortunately, it's not like feel-o-vision because that would be great. Yeah. But Tracy Ann can feel it. This is, on the outside, is a silk tulle. Yes. You hear the word tulle, you think like little kids through like tutus. Tutus, exactly. And you're like scratchy, itchy.
Yeah,
no. This is like butter. I mean, couture, you only use real fibers. Another couture thing is boning. You don't ever want to use this. This is what comes in a lot of garments. That's boning. That's what you see in all your like prom dresses, your wedding gowns.
Oh, and then they like come out of the corsets and stuff. They're always sticking out.
Not just that. If you have it and you're sitting in it, it's gonna start to take that shape, and it just bends like two ways. It cracks. It's not. It is forbidden.
So this is anti-couture.
Anti-couture. This is spiral boning.
Yes.
The cool thing about it is not only can you go back and forth, you can go side to side. You can even tie this stuff in a knot. And guess what? It goes right back to the way it was. This is the only thing that should ever be used for boning in couture. So again, with couture, you want to use innovative materials. So that brings me to this piece, which is one of
innovative.
This is one of my favorite pieces. Yes. So like a corselet. And this is, it's very 1930s-esque. So this is metal. The cool thing about this is like while I was draping it, and this, as I said before, you cannot do a muslin drape in this for this because the muslin does not act like metal.
Oh goodness, this is the top of the corset?
Yeah, so the inside is finished and the outside. And you can see even like the spiral boning caps, you can see them a little bit. So you can see, you can feel it if you could feel it.
So now, this love that you have for couture, has translated over into an item, a specialized bridal item. But they really are immaculate. And can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Of course. So I got married about 2 months ago, and
congratulations.
Thank you. I wanted to do something like different and special for my wedding, and also something I could give my bridesmaids as a keepsake. So I decided to make these custom bridal brooch bouquets. I actually have mine with me, which I'll show you.
OMG. Can I hold it?
Yeah, go for it. It's heavy.
Here comes the bride. Oh my goodness, what? What an announcement. This is, my aunt has always called me a statement child. If this is not a statement piece, I don't know what is. This is amazing.
Thank you. And
it has a little weight to it.
You know, it's got a lot of embellishment, a lot of bling. I thought it was like really cool to do because, you know, you carry the bouquets with the flowers and they die.
Yeah.
This I can keep and put on display in a vase, like on my coffee table and my dining room table forever.
So that's why they're called
Everlasting Wedding Bouquets.
Everlasting Bouquets.
And this is couture because you can see on the inside. As I said, couture inside and out, there's nothing unfinished. And on this, I followed the same rule. It's got so much detail and really like, even to the understructure has this beaded.
Oh, come closer with that. That's beautiful.
Beaded lace.
Yeah, right there. Oh, that's gorgeous. What a beautiful detail.
Thank you. And there's like layers of ruffles, and then this inner layer, and this lace on the inside, and the embellishments and bling on the handle, and it's really really a passion for me.
So are these like completely customizable? Do people have to buy their own brooches? Like, how does that work?
It's up to you. I mean, you know, I've had people where they've had brooches from their grandmothers, and they want to include it as like, you know, something old, something new, something blue.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, so you can do a collection of that. You can send them, and you can have them match the colors of your wedding. If your wedding is like blue and white, you can do blue and white. Or if you have like a really fun multicolored wedding, you can do something like this, lots of different fun colors. Feels good when you finish with it because you have this like amazing sparkly, blingy bouquet. It's a keepsake that you have for the rest of your life.
So beautiful.